is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
I'm Stephanie Wade. We hear for the first time from the company responsible for trains stopping and blocking intersections in Muncie, why they say this is happening, and the mayor's response.
A new effort is underway to better support victims of crimes in Indiana. I'm Call 6 Investigates Kara Kenny with the plan underway.
And it's back to the drawing board after a developer pulls out of a huge Indianapolis project. Good evening, I'm Amanda Starantino.
And I'm Mark Mullins. Tonight, drivers in Muncie are frustrated as stopped trains continue to cause major disruptions.
Now, we've heard from first responders in schools about delays getting to emergencies and kids arriving late to school.
Stephanie Wade's first story caught the attention of another group that's fed up with the trains blocking streets for up to 4 hours at a time.
She is working for you with their story and the response from the company that's responsible.
To say Myra Robison uses MITS or the Muncie, Indiana transit system often,
daily,
would be
every day,
an understatement. She's blind and relies on the bus to get to work as a massage therapist in the Muncie, Delaware County Senior Center.
So I need my paratransit to be on time.
And when a train is stopped blocking a street her bus driver needs to cross?
The worst one is being late for a doctor, because they will either not see you and or they will charge you.
It's actually a giant hindrance. We've never had anything that devastated our schedules quite like this.
Next year marks Ernie Bertram's 22nd year as a bus driver. He says MITS is short on drivers because people don't want to deal with the delays and detours. But at the same time, they're also seeing an increase in passengers for folks with disabilities or the elderly who need this transportation.
Anytime there's a deviation, then that leaves the riders out in the cold.
It's all about the railroads and the trains being able to do what they need to do.
Mayor Dennis Tyler says this Supreme Court ruling made just last year no longer allows a city to fine or ticket a railroad company for blocking a street for more than 10 minutes. They could, and they did in the past. So now he says there's very little they can do legally to stop a train from stopping.
We have pictures of children going to and from school, crawling through these trains to get from one side of the tracks to the other. Now, not only is that not legal, it's extremely, extremely dangerous.
Norfolk Southern Corporation officials finally got back to me this week, saying operational situations might require a train to slow or stop, temporarily blocking a crossing. They apologize for any inconvenience, saying they're, quote, working closely with our transportation team to review local operations in Muncie. But for people like Myra, it's simple.
Don't block so many intersections, vital intersections to our city, vital intersections straight to the hospital.
Working for you, Stephanie Wade, RTV6.
Steph, thanks. And if a train blocks a crossing for an extended period of time, people can call Norfolk Southern Police at 800-946-4744. This number is on the emergency notification sign posted at every highway rail grade crossing.
It may be fall, but summer-like weather has returned in time for the weekend. Those breezes are blowing in higher temperatures and humidity, and we're also tracking storms to the north. Storm Team 6 meteorologist Kyle Mounds is monitoring this situation. Kyle?
Yeah, temperature's a little bit of a battleground here over northern portions of central Indiana. Most of us are dry, but we've had some heavy downpours here around Marion, Indiana, in northern Grant County. Quite a bit of lightning there with that one. And you can see another one that's moving through western portions of Howard County into the Kokomo area. Also going to be moving into Amboy and Indian Heights here as we get to 625. Some locally heavy rainfall. That's going to be the biggest issue in addition to some lightning. And that's why we do have a flash flood watch into the early morning hours of tomorrow for White and also Benton counties. The good news is you're getting a break in those locations from the rain right now. But we've got a chance for a few more storms overnight, so we're holding on to that marginal risk from Lafayette, Peru, and areas to the north that some of those storms could have some gusty winds, possibly some hail. Here's a look at TrueCast and that dry out period as we go through the next several hours. But by 2 a.m., another round of showers and storms. Again, that's mainly going to be to the north of Interstate 70. But yeah, temperatures heating up. We're at 87 right now. Southwest breezes. We'll talk about this warmth picking up steam as we go into the weekend.
And right now, Vice President Mike Pence is on his way back to Washington, D.C. after a very busy day in his home state, the second of a two-day visit. Pence started the day with a surprise stop at Southside Elementary School in his hometown of Columbus. That's where he was asked to sign a famous guitar that's also been signed by Hoosiers Dan Quayle, Tony Stewart, Florence Henderson, and others. He told the children he was once just a simple boy from Columbus and they can be anything if they try. He then traveled to nearby Camp Atterbury, where he spoke to members of the Indiana National Guard. He addressed a battalion and a company of about 150 National Guard members who are preparing to deploy to Kuwait. Pence also singled out two guardsmen, father and son, from the group. In his last public event of the day, the vice president visited the Neurodiagnostic Institute, a state mental health facility on the east side of Indianapolis. He briefly discussed gun violence and said Indiana leads the way in mental health. At no point throughout the day did Pence take questions from the media.
A change of plans. A major project slated for the former site of the GM stamping plant is now being canceled. Video from earlier this summer shows the 103-acre lot on the southwest side of Indy back when developers were excited about their plans for Waterside, a future array of apartments, restaurants, and shops. Well, today, Ambrose Property Group says it will not be going forward with those plans and will be selling Waterside. That property group says it's part of a larger national strategy to get rid of its mixed use and office projects similar to Waterside.
There's a delay in reopening the ramps to and from Meridian Street and I-70 downtown, but NDOT promises they will be open in plenty of time for Sunday's Colts game. The ramps closed on Monday and were supposed to open this morning. They are now set to open Sunday at 6 a.m. Contractors are repairing winter damage to the ramps. And another traffic alert for you, this one on the west side. On Monday, NDOT will close the I-74 eastbound to southbound I-465 ramp for 4 nights. The ramp will be closed nightly through Thursday from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. the next morning, beginning Monday night. The following week, I-465 northbound to I-74 westbound will be shut down for repairs. The closure will be nightly from Monday, October 7th through Thursday, October 11th from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. the following morning.
Police have arrested a Zionsville contractor for taking money and not doing the work promised. Prosecutors in Hendricks and Boone counties have filed charges against Randall Blake Copeland of Damage Solutions. He was booked into jail today. Now, records show he took money from families for roof work, but did not finish the jobs despite numerous chances to do so. RTV6 has tried to get a hold of Copeland through email and his company's website, but we have not yet heard back. Copeland works for Damage Solutions. He told one detective he's backed up on work since he's a startup company. An Indiana couple says they just wanted to give a Ukrainian child a good home, but they claim that girl turned out to be an adult committing fraud. Today, Michael Barnett and his ex-wife, Christine, who is not in this clip, faced the court over neglect charges stemming from a years-long investigation that accuses them of abandoning their adopted daughter in 2013. Investigators say they legally changed her age from 8 to 22 before renting an apartment and leaving her on her own. Michael Barnett's attorney says the couple came to believe that they had adopted an adult and did what they thought was best at the time.
My client's feelings toward this particular individual has never wavered. They still hold her dear in their hearts. They still believe that she is a person that deserves love and support. They have never deprived her of that.
We did not get a chance to talk to Christine Barnett today, but her defense is angled around that same idea that the couple was tricked into adopting someone who was not a child. That attorney says there are plans to interview the Ukrainian adoptee as part of the court proceedings. A new effort is underway to help victims of violent crimes in Indiana.
Call 6 Investigates has found that oftentimes victims are left in the dark when it comes to their criminal case. Our Kara Kenny joins us now with a plan in the works to change that.
Every day in our state, people are the victims of crimes, domestic violence, battery, sexual assault. But it's once those victims enter the criminal justice system, advocates say they're victimized all over again. And some say that needs to change. The Indiana Coalition for Crime Victims' Rights is a group of advocates, attorneys, social workers, and survivors. Lael Hill is the founder.
We all come together to really send a message to victims in the state of Indiana that we hear you, we care about you, and we're going to fight for your rights in criminal court.
Say you're the victim of a crime. Your perpetrator is charged. You go to court and you're told the prosecutor will represent your best interests.
Problem is when victims ask if they should have an attorney represent them, they're often told that they don't need an attorney, that the prosecutor will represent them. That's not accurate and not factual, and we're trying to educate the community that yes, you do need an attorney, and hopefully we can provide you one free of charge.
Some counties have victim advocates that work alongside police and prosecutors, but many parts of our state do not have victim advocates. The coalition is working on a way to get crime victims a card with their rights, like the right to confer with the prosecutor, the right to be notified of hearings, the right to give a victim impact statement.
As oftentimes we're seeing that victims are not given their rights and they do not know what they are.
Allie Austin works with survivors of sexual assault and says the confusion of the criminal justice system often re-victimizes survivors.
At least for the people that I work with, it kind of just, it leaves them powerless. I would like to have a clear understanding of how else that I can help empower them. So that's why I'm here, and I am excited to hopefully have Families First being involved with this work, because this is something that we're passionate about.
The group says they do not need a change in state law. They'll focus on educating anyone and everyone who touches a case on how they can better help victims. 16 states currently have victim rights attorneys. This group wants Indiana to be the 17th state to do so. Kara Kenny, RTV6.
The U.S. Justice Department is siding with the Archdiocese of Indianapolis in a lawsuit filed by a former teacher. It's filed what's called a statement of interest, explaining that the First Amendment protects the right of the Archdiocese to interpret and apply Catholic doctrine. This stems from a civil lawsuit by former Cathedral High School teacher Joshua Payne Elliott, who said he was wrongfully terminated for being in a same-sex marriage. The Archdiocese indicated that if he wasn't fired, the school would lose its Catholic identity. Josh Minkler, U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Indiana, said, quote, if the First Amendment's religion clauses stand for anything, it is that secular courts cannot entangle themselves in questions of religious law.
Now to Democracy 2019, and voters in Marion County will have 5 locations to vote early leading up to the November election. Early voting will begin Tuesday, October 8th at the Marion County Clerk's office. Beginning Saturday, October 26th, 4 additional sites will open: the Washington, Perry, and Warren Township Government Centers in Cranor Park. You can find addresses and times at indyvoteearly.org. Election day is November 5th, right around the corner.
It's coming right up, isn't it?
Still ahead on the news at 6, and Indiana College is getting a new football stadium. How soon it will open.
And one of the hottest young singers is now coming to Indianapolis. Details announced today about the Billie Eilish World Tour.
And it's a small school showdown for Week 6. I'm Brad Brown at Lutheran High School on the southeast side. We'll get you set for this matchup between the Saints and Cecina in our Friday football frenzy. Plus, the Pacers are back, and Victor Oladipo is back, at least to talk to us. We'll take you to Media Day at Bankers Life Fieldhouse coming up when the news at 6 continues.
This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
Welcome back. Our Hiring Hoosiers initiative is committed to making sure you know about as many job opportunities as possible. On Wednesday, Lowe's will be offering walk-in interviews at all of its Indianapolis stores. Lowe's is hiring nearly 600 associates in the Indianapolis area. Again, walk-in interviews will be conducted Wednesday from 9 to 6.
Plans are in the works to build a new $13 million football stadium at Wabash College in Crawfordsville. I want to show you the renderings, the artist renderings of this new Little Giant stadium that is planned to open on September 5th of next year when Wabash hosts Rose Holman. The stadium will include seating for 3,550 fans. The school's president said an anonymous group of donors has pledged substantial funding for the project. They'll break ground on Saturday, November 9th. Another big college football weekend is here, and it's even more special in Indianapolis because we're once again hosting the Circle City Classic. This afternoon on Monument Circle, a pep rally to get the two schools and fans pumped up. It featured the marching bands and cheerleaders of the schools will hit the gridiron tomorrow at Lucas Oil Stadium, Jackson State University, and Kentucky State University. The Classic is an annual event that features two historically black colleges or universities. And tomorrow is the big day. You won't want to miss the Classic Parade that starts at 10:30 at Pennsylvania and Vermont and finishes at Meridian and New York. About 100 people are expected to attend. Corey 100,000 people are expected to attend. Corey Wise of the so-called Exonerated Five is Grand Marshal. The big game between Kentucky State University and Jackson State University kicks off at 3, and at halftime, the Battle of the Bands featuring 2 schools' marching bands.
Big concert news to share tonight. The teenager who currently has the best-selling album in North America this year is bringing her world tour to Indianapolis. 17-year-old Billie Eilish announced her 2020 arena Where Do We Go world tour today. She will appear in Indianapolis at Bankers Life Fieldhouse on Wednesday, March 25th. Tickets go on sale a week from today, October 4th at noon, but you also register now through Monday for the verified fan presale. Kyle.
Let's get a check of our rainfall report because we certainly could use some. It has been an exceptionally dry month of September here. We're more than 2 inches below average in rainfall in the city of Indianapolis, and you can see that's eating away at the surplus that we had through much of the spring here as we're getting a little closer to that yearly average. Some of us are getting some rain, and a few locations actually a little too much too quickly, but things are kind of tapering off at this point. You can see on satellite and radar here now just a couple flashes of lightning, a little bit of a shower there in northern portions of Howard County, around Marion, Indiana, and also Hartford City, a brief soaker that's moving through town. And we've got the division where we've had some of that rain and cloud cover around. Your temperature in the upper 60s right now in Lafayette, 71 in Tipton, but 87 in Indy and 86 degrees in Columbus. It's been a breezy day. Those winds out of the south still around 23 miles per hour in Indy and 15 miles per hour in Columbus. So the southerly winds, they're going to keep us a whole lot warmer tonight. This morning we started off in the 50s. Tomorrow closer to 70 degrees with partly cloudy skies. And as we take your Saturday hour by hour, we'll have a little more cloud cover around, but still temperatures unseasonably warm for this time of year. Middle to upper 80s, and the wind is not going to be nearly the issue it was today. There's about a 20% chance of a passing shower or storm, mainly north of Interstate 70. This is TrueCast, 6 o'clock in the morning. Couple of those showers moving through, but you notice otherwise partly sunny skies for us, and it should be a dry Saturday evening for your plans as temperatures make their way to 88 in Bloomington, around 90 degrees in Columbus, but we'll still have that temperature gradient only in the upper 70s around Lafayette and Peru. So if you're going to be heading to South Bend for the Notre Dame game, kickoff there, 73 degrees, 80 as we get to Purdue. And then on Sunday for the Colts game, weather in pretty good shape. Isolated shower storm possible as we go into the afternoon, but temperatures again going to be very warm here. 81 at 1 o'clock for that kickoff, 87 for the afternoon high, and it's early next week as the heat continues to build. That's where we could set a couple of records here on Monday and Tuesday. Forecasting highs of 91 degrees, 89 is the record there, and we'll be in the upper 80s even as we go into Wednesday. 7-day planning forecast now as we put it all together for you, and it continues to be a fairly dry weather pattern here as we keep the summer heat going with temperatures in the middle 80s Saturday and Sunday. Again, 91 Monday and Tuesday, but fall does return here as we get into the end of next week. So we got to wait about 6 or 7 days, but temperatures are going to drop by about 20 degrees.
Enjoy the last of this summer as it sticks around. Thanks, Kyle. Well, another big night of high school football action is on tap for you.
Brad Brown joins us from Lutheran High School tonight. Hey, Brad.
Breezy one indeed out here on the southeast side of Indianapolis, but as Kyle said, the weather's going to hold up for summer and maybe some shorts for these fans one more night before we head into the back half of the regular season here and cool things down. Great small school matchup here tonight. Lutheran High School, the home team, they're ranked number 1 in Class 1A. Cecina that you see right behind me here is ranked number 4 in Class 2A. This is always a great matchup between a couple of the parochial schools and an opportunity here tonight to see which of these two small school teams comes out on top. Get a little look at Cecina. They lost to Ron Colley last week, but before that, the Crusaders put together 4 big wins to start the season. 55 points one week, 49 and another. They're going to run the ball. And we will see if that continues here tonight against Lutheran, who, again, are unbeaten in 4 through this first part of the season. Here's some more games we'll be keeping an eye on tonight. The number 1 team in Class 6A is still Avon. They play at Fishers tonight. Franklin is another of the unbeaten teams. They are home tonight against Mooresville. North Central and Carmel in the mix. You see this game here. A couple more there down south. We'll have a recap of those for you coming up tonight on the news at 11. Let's get a final look at the Colts. Week 4 coming up Sunday. Home game versus the Raiders. If you're into the wagering kind of thing, India's favored by 6.5 points, so a touchdown favorite. An injury update today, though. T.Y. Hilton listed as doubtful with a quad injury. So wide receiver Ashton Doolin has been promoted from the practice squad. Will likely get Hilton's reps on Sunday. Darius Leonard will miss another game with a concussion. discussion. QB Jacoby Brissett, getting set for his 4th start, likes the communication he's having with his head coach so far.
Frank gives you the free range to talk to him throughout the game, and if I'm telling him I'm not feeling well about this, I want to do this more, he'll listen. Obviously we'll have dialogue about it, but he's been pretty good about leaving that range for conversation.
Again, it's a 1 o'clock start on Sunday. Pacers preseason got underway today. Can you believe it's basketball season already? It is in a bit of a way. Here's Dave First with more.
Yes, it's that time of year again. The poses and pictures must mean Pacers Media Day, and the season can begin sooner than you think, really, and that includes Victor Oladipo. No shocker, all smiles, but 8 months removed from that ruptured quad tendon. He's been rehabbing ever since, says he'll be better than ever, but there are a few dark times that he's had in the last couple months.
At the end of the day, let's be real, I am human. It hasn't been easy. There have been tough days. There have been days that have been tougher than other days. But for the most part, I've survived every single one of them. So when I say I'm coming back better than ever, I'm not just saying that because it sounds good. I truly believe that.
No exact timetable for Vic's return. Most are thinking maybe December, maybe January. But here's the thing, though. Timing's of the essence for the rest of the guys. That home opener comes up in less than a month, October 23rd, against the Pistons. Day first, RTV6 Sports.
This morning,
Second round of the LPGA's Iowa Championship. A windy day, of course, at Brickyard Crossings. Those scores were significantly up over day one. Zionsville's Annabelle Pancake getting some love from some of her fellow Zionsville Eagles. Annabelle shot 4 over on the front nine today. She's going to miss the cut. Great to see her out there this week, though. Erica Shepard will make the cut, though, at even par. She'll get a chance to play this week, and it continues on Saturday and Sunday. We'll see you back with Week 6 tonight on the News at 11. The News at 6 wraps up next.
The only name you need to know.
All right, get the swim trunks and the sprinklers ready. We got some heat this weekend.
Get our tan on.
Yeah. That does it for us here. Up next is World News with David Muir.
See you then.